like I said, last Saturday I made reference to the UN's Summit of the Future. So I'm wanting to expand upon that a little bit. This is the Summit of the Future for 2024. And I also want to take this in a different direction. Like I said, we're going to kind of take this and just play some matchmaker, just do some number and date stuff that we know is biblically correct, and we're going to kind of take a look at this and see a possibility of a timeline unfolding for Daniel's 70th week. It's going to be fun. So now I know there's a lot of talk about the UN summit coming up in September of this year. This is for the SDGs, and I know this is a big thing that's getting passed around a lot that's coming up in September, where they need governments and heads of state to reconfirm commitment to the SDGs. This is that SDG summit, this Sustainable Development Goals summit coming up in September of this year. So I know there are some people who are claiming this could be the covenant that the Antichrist signs. And that would be him revealing himself and the start of the 70th week or the 7-year tribulation. And so some people are starting to kind of put that, because there was talk of 7 years of peace type of thing attached to it and whatnot. I just don't see that happening, specifically from a time frame perspective. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at Daniel, so we get an idea. Daniel 9:27. Then he shall confirm a covenant with many for 1 week, but in the middle of the week he shall bring an end to sacrifice and offering, and on the wing of abominations shall be one who makes desolate, even until the consummation which is determined is poured out on the desolate. So he shall confirm a covenant with many for 1 week. So 1 week would be 7 years. That's where we get these 7 years right there. Middle of the week, that's the abomination of desolation. That would be 3.5 years in there. So when he signs this thing, it's going to be revealing of who the Antichrist is, and it's also going to be the start of what's going on with that. Now, as far as time frame, let's talk about the time frame. Like I said, some people are thinking that what's coming up with the SDG Summit this September is going to be that thing. Well, it's almost July already. We're at the end of June here. It's almost July. And that summit is in September. That would give us about 3 months. Why I don't think this will work is in 3 months, we would need the rapture to happen, because that's got to happen first. So we would need the rapture to take place. We would also need the 10 kings to rise to power. And then along with that, the Antichrist would have to come out of that. And then also, in my opinion, Ezekiel 38 and Isaiah 17 would need to take place as well. So you're talking about at least those events: rapture, 10 kings coming to power, Antichrist coming out of that, and Ezekiel 38 and Isaiah 17 all happening within 3 months. That stuff needs to happen before the signing of that covenant. I just do not see that happening in 3 months. I mean, you would have to see a major blast off happen for that. First of all, in my opinion, before even the 10 kings rise up and Ezekiel 38 and stuff like that, in my opinion, the rapture's got to happen first, because that is going to be a cataclysmic event. That's going to be a earth-shattering, world-changing event that, in my opinion, when that takes place, everything is just going to start turning to chaos, and then you're going to see the at that point people looking to leaders to take over. And so in my opinion, that's when you're going to start seeing these 10 kings start to come up, because they're going to come out of this chaos to try and calm everything down, get everything going, get this beast system going, rolling online and in the midst of all the chaos. And then you're going to need the Antichrist to come out of that, which, of course, we know they're going to give their power to him. And then, of course, you need Ezekiel 38 and Isaiah 17. That would be Damascus going down. And Ezekiel 38 is when you see Russia, Iran, Turkey, Libya, and Sudan all coming against Israel. And we know God's going to wipe them out. Now, another keynote is Ezekiel 38 is probably going to be a quick event. It's not, in my opinion, it's not going to be a long, drawn-out thing. But right now, none of Israel, Iran, Russia, Turkey, Sudan, or Libya is ready to go. None of them are ready to go for this war. They're prepping for it. We can see that. We're watching that happen. But none of them are ready to go. So again, 3 months' time, you need the rapture to happen. 10 kings to rise to power, which that's going to take longer than that, in my opinion. I'm sorry, guys. It's just, there's no way. The AC to kind of start making his way out of that. And then you would need all of those nations, the Ezekiel 38 nations, to get ready for war and then have the war. I just don't see it. More fitting, in my opinion, again, is the summit of the future and the pact for the future that will take place in 2024. We already know that the WHO, the WHO Pandemic Treaty, and the IHR, the International Health Regulation Amendments, are to be adopted in May of 2024. So that is coming also next year. And that would also match up nicely with the summit and the pact in 2024 as well. This timing would also be great enough because then you could have the rapture happen. I mean, you're looking at already a year and a couple months on top of that. So that's enough time for the rapture to take place, for the 10 kings to begin to rise to power and start getting things ready, and also for Ezekiel 38 and Isaiah 17 to happen. That is more than enough time to get all of that stuff ready to go before the covenant is signed.